I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
That's Booby.
And Salty and Ghosty. And you know what? At some point, we're going to take a picture and name everybody so you'll get to see everybody.
Shout out to the big homie from GTFO.
Yep, he's got an escape room.
Get the fudge out.
Yes.
Hey,
we forgot our fudge.
We forgot our fudge. You thought we were going to say get the F out. It's get the fudge out. It's an escape room.
We're Christians and we don't swear.
We don't swear. We've never sworn in our fucking lives. Okay. Shout out to GTFO Escape Room Zone.
Yes, fun.
Also, shout out to Escape Room 207. We've got a couple really
I gotta chill.
Cool commercials. Weird. Cool commercials in my mind.
Coming up.
Tom.
Ooh.
Message me, Tom.
Yep.
Because I've got some really cool ideas. Okay.
So we have brought back the live streams to the Vin and Sori channel.
Sadak.
Back to our roots. So everybody was hanging out tonight. We just actually finished the live stream and now we're recording tomorrow, which is today for you.
Hard work.
Yes.
Dedication.
Anyway, people were at the live stream and they asked for Judas Priest.
Hard work.
And then Tosco said that he wanted this one, which is Diamonds and Rust.
Right.
But the live version.
Yeah, we had a vote.
Yes, we did.
Vote. So if you're in the live stream, you get a vote. It was between Meshuggah and JP. Judas Priest won, and then my man Tosco got to select which Judas Priest song because Tosco was the one that said I was the most infuriating individual on the internet. And
when we first heard Judas Priest, which song was Painkiller, right?
Painkiller.
We hated it. You should watch the review. We hated it.
Yeah.
And then he said for us to listen to one, something about an angel. What was it?
Something angel something.
Something about an angel. So we listened to that one and we were like, woo! And we had a kind of change of heart on Judas Priest. So he's the guy that we're going to let pick this one. So let's see.
And this is Diamonds
and
Rust?
Diamonds and Rust.
That's such a brilliant line.
I know. Yep.
By the way, there was a diamond
what's happening here?
There was a diamond thingamajiggy. No, that's Pantera. That was Walk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've already heard that before.
It was like going on. Help.
Okay. So, speaking of diamonds, that was one of the riddles that I solved.
Yes, it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I did so good in that escape room. You were terrible.
You always say that, and
I don't always say that. I don't always say that. No, when you're
I came across a lot of them. And you know what happens?
Subpar performance.
I go and I open up stuff, and he doesn't realize that I open it, so then it just goes right off the radar.
No, you had a subpar performance, babe. It wasn't your best show.
I figured out like a multitude of riddles. You remember the first thing to open up all those boxes? Who opened those boxes?
No, I'm the one that found the skulls. Let's just start the song.
What?
People don't want to hear this foolishness.
What? Okay.
Diamonds in Rust, Judas Priest. Let's go.
Go.
Just that the moon is full and you decided to call. Here I sit and on the telephone.
Shit, man.
Hearing the voice unknown. A couple of light years ago, headed straight.
Baby Diamonds and Rust.
new song for you from Angel of Retribution. This is Worth Fighting For.
Wow.
I'm unhappy.
Because it was so short.
I hate that.
I know. Usually you say that and I'm like, no. This one though, I felt it.
It's
I'm
one of those
no.
chilly. Yeah, I got some chills.
Yeah, it was such a.
I love the lyrics. Apparently, there's a young lady named Joan Boaz that sang the song first, and then they did it. Obviously, Baez, I think her name is. Obviously, I'm probably going to be partial to the Judas Priest version. God, he's such a vocally, man.
Oh, I know.
He didn't go like ah, but like, cause that's every time I hear Halford, that's all right. But oh my gosh, what an amazing.
I know.
See
wow.
now see, it's terrible because I think my favorite vocalist is my man Dio. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, he's with the A and Soph now. Inshallah, he's with the A and Soph. So it's like, okay, but this guy vocally is like a vocal treasure. So now I'm like, shit, we have got to see this guy
live.
I'm
listening again. Yeah.
We gotta listen. Well, there's a certain, I don't know if this is a ballad. I don't know what the technical term is, but like my mom used to listen to this guy named Don Francisco.
Yeah.
And like he would have these like epic songs, but they were all about Christianity. Like the one with Peter, the He's Alive one. I'd see him crucified, I'd see him die, and then blah, blah, blah. And like the chord progressions just reminded me of that.
Oh.
But of course, this guy is like a major upgrade over Don Francisco. I think they're both. I think my mom and him are both up there now. So inshallah. So, she could tell him how much she loved his music, but like it. I don't know how to describe what I'm trying to say. There aren't songs like this anymore because I think people would think like the progressions or the way they're doing it is like pretentious. But it's not. I mean, it's ballady and whatever, and maybe that type of song is past its. Because like I don't hear modern songs like this. Like, do you, or am I? I'm trying to talk about something.
Maybe it's in other genres.
Yeah, no, it's possible. It's possible. I don't know what kind of genre you would classify Don Francisco as, but
great.
And it was the guy's name was Don. Like he was just some hey Don. He would. But this guy is like
I'm having so much deja vu right now.
This dude right here. Like vocally, forget it. And he did it so perfectly too. That's the other thing.
So this song was about basically going down memory lane with someone that's not there anymore, right?
Well, I don't know because it says you decided to call.
Yeah, but I thought that was
hand on the telephone, hearing the voice I'd known.
Yeah, I don't know if it's actually them calling or if it's the like how memory lane sometimes it just hits you, like the person comes.
Yes.
I didn't know if it was like that.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. No, Don Francisco's still alive. There he is right there.
Oh wow.
No, I hear what you're saying, but
because I said here comes your ghost again, and that's not unusual. It's just that the moon is full and you decided to call. So you think it's literal? Like the moon is full, and when the person calls, it brings them back to when they were together.
Well, yeah, I think ghost is a literary device that's used to talk about something had died between them. So obviously they were in a relationship, and then the relationship ended, but then they called randomly on the phone, which I was in that situation like 2 weeks ago, right? Like it was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and then I get this phone call, and it's like. It was just a weird moment because in the entire time since, like, that's never happened. And it was just a random, and I wasn't all the way there. I mean, it was 3 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
So I was just like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
It was really uncomfortable because it was just random stuff. Like, it wasn't even,
Yeah.
So I don't know why people, go ahead.
Yeah, it was a little bit weird, and you, like, had this weird look on your face. You looked at me like... The look on your face was actually really cute because I was like,
you know, I kind of go to you for like, you know, like, why is this happening right now? You know, like, you kind of like help me make sense of the world that we're in, because it's a very fucking strange planet that we're in, babe. Mm-hmm. So like, yeah, because me, I'm not that guy. Like, if the relationship is over, like, I'm not gonna call you, like, period. Yeah. As, you know, when you have kids involved, it's a little bit different. But like, I'm not gonna call you at 2 o'clock for no reason. Right.
Like, that's like people call it memory lane. Yeah, memories. But we both know what memories can bring. They bring diamonds and rust. Yes, we both know what memories can bring. They bring diamonds and rust.
That's such a brilliant line, diamonds and rust.
Yep.
Shout out to Joan Baez. I want to give her credit because she was the one that wrote that. But yeah, that's a That's a big one. Yep. That's a good line.
Now for me, that meant diamonds are diamonds. They're beautiful. They're going to stay beautiful. So there are some memories that they're just kind of like, they're kind of stuck in a little capsule where they're just good memories and they'll stay that way. But then the rust is, it was a good metal, and then over time and stuff, corrosion happened and it became rust. So there are other memories that over time they just deteriorate and they can become like a negative thing, or some of the things that you look back and you're like, I cannot believe that happened. I can't believe this happened. You know what I mean? Like it's like the negatives of the memories. Where did you go? Did you just go in memory lane? Come back to me, Vin.
You find yourself saying that a lot, huh?
I do.
I think that's a very, very mature way to look at things.
Diamonds and rust. Yeah, yes, I agree.
Diamond is like, it's everlasting. It's always the good things are always going to be good. I love when people reach that age of maturity to where they can look back at something that went bad and say it wasn't all bad. That there are some things that are good that are always going to be good, and sometimes that you have that are good are always going to be good, and I think that's important. And it's also very, because you can fall off on both sides. A lot of times in relationships, people are like, oh, everything was terrible. I can't believe you see these memes, I can't believe I dated that person. It's like, come on, fam. Like, obviously, at the moment, you weren't saying that when you were with the person. So, come on.
Well, I think that sometimes what happens, you know how they say, like, love is blind?
Yeah.
And stuff. So I think that, you know, when you're in a moment with somebody or when you're with somebody, you overlook certain things, and some things you just don't see because you're in love with them. But then as like time progresses and stuff like that, and then there's a big fallout, then you look back and you're like, really? Like, how did I not see this or that thing?
You know? No, I think that there's some kind of revelatory, you know, truth to time in relationships, for sure. But I also think that we can fall off on either side, where it was all bad, or they'll say it was all good. You know, like a relationship ends and the person's completely and totally wrecked and devastated because all they see is diamonds, and it was like, nah, fam, there was some rust there.
Yeah. Then you go back in the relationship and you're like, no, this is like completely rust. What am I doing?
Yeah.
What I mean?
Well, sometimes there's too much. Well, it's funny
too
because
much rust here.
Well, it's funny because like when you have distance from a person, especially like if a relationship ends and then you go on and you find someone and then you're happy, you're kind of like, oh man, that poor person, and then you have a conflict and you go, oh, that's right.
Yes. Yep. Well,
and then you go, okay.
Especially because, like, I mean, I can't speak for all relationships, but there are some people where, like, there's two people in a relationship, obviously, then one person, like, is, like, trying to, like, move on and be like, okay, whatever, and they're, like, moving on and, like, changing as a person, and the other person is kind of, like, still stuck there, and they're not, like, changing a whole lot as a person, so, like, you're becoming, like, this new person with new ideas and new surroundings and new experiences, and you're, like, altogether different, and then like, they react the same way that they reacted years ago, and you're like, wait, you...
Still there.
You haven't changed. And that's a weird moment.
Still rusty.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're both pretty aggressive about evolution.
Yes.
And knowledge of self. and we're always trying to push each other to the next level. And so I've grown a lot it's weird because I always question, because our channel started like 3 weeks after we got officially married, right? Like, I don't know when it was in March.
We got
married on March 1st.
March 1st, and then the channel was right at the end of March.
Yeah, so like literally like 3 weeks. So I don't know, like I attribute a ton of my growth to you, for sure. But it's also like
I did the same thing with you.
The channel also plays a very, very
it did.
The channel's played a very big part in the growth.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it has a lot.
And if I didn't have you, I wouldn't have started the channel.
Yep. And I have I wouldn't have either. Definitely not. I have I'm still working through my anger or I don't know, negativity toward men.
Misandry.
Yeah.
Misandry.
Yeah, but the channel has actually really helped with that a lot, because when we first started the channel, I was really, really, really nervous because I had heard all this stuff about metal people and they were like, oh, the majority of your channel is going to be men and they're going to say some really horrible things and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, so I was really nervous about it at first. But then I have, a lot of the people, because I'm the one that does Patreon, so a lot of the people that talk to me on Patreon are men, and none of them have said anything that's been what in the world. Everybody is really respectful and really, so I'm like, oh, maybe I should rethink my
misandry.
Yeah, but I always feel like everybody's, I always feel like you're the only one that's not like that. But I'm like, no, I think there are other people out there that are good. You're not the only one. But yeah.
Shout out to the big homie Orion. He's good too, is he?
Our little baby.
Yeah, a little baby.
5 months old.
I see you standing all around and snow in your hair, and now we're smiling out the window of the crummy hotel over Washington Square. Our breath comes out in white clouds, mingles and hangs in the air. Speaking strictly for me, we both could have died then and there.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And you said no.
No.
Well, I said me.
Yeah.
Because somebody needs to care for the kids. But yeah, I think having that
stuff was good in that moment.
Well, what's interesting is the crummy. I love this whole stanza.
Yep.
When I was in English, that was a big thing when we were doing playwriting and talking about setting a scene and all this, and the snow in the hair, smiling out the window of the crummy hotel, Washington Square's in New York. So crummy hotel, it just seems to be about being. There's something really whimsical about being young and broke.
Yeah.
And all you have is love.
Yeah.
And now he's a big rock star, and whatever dude he was with, or Joan Baez or whatever, he's made it, but he had that moment with whoever, the dude he was with or whatever, and now they're just, they can't be together again, or Joan Baez with her boyfriend or whatever. So it's just, it's a really strange thing when you're young and you're broke and you're in love and you're in some crappy hotel or a crappy apartment or whatever, and
I never had that experience.
Yeah, I did, and it's just a weird. That's Zoe. What's she saying? Oh, that's very nice.
And she loves her dad.
We had a little conflict. Yeah, so there's something about that, it's like splitting a microwavable meal, half the corn and half the you can have the whole potato.
You guys did that?
We were broke as fuck.
Oh.
Man. We had this envelope of money.
Yeah.
And we were so stupid, we went out to the movies and shit, and it was just dwindling, and then our rent was 4 weeks past due, and we got the job just in time, you know what I mean?
But an adventure.
Well, but yeah, at the time though, it's man, when are we gonna make it? When are we gonna be okay? When are we gonna be ahead? And and it's very stressful. But you're always thinking eventually, babe, we're gonna be set.
Yeah.
And so there, you know, I also am very happy with moving past it, you know. But it's a cool moment where it's like, hey, you know, let's figure this thing out. You know?
Yeah. Well, especially you didn't have any kids at that point, so it's like, you know, it's just
18.
It's just the two of you. Old. So it's like, if you screw up, you know, now we've got 5 kids. You can't screw up now.
Right. It's not romantic anymore.
Work your job. Do the channel.
Right. We gotta pay bills.
How can we pay the bills and still do fun stuff with the kids?
Well, that's what with Fielding when we were at the corn show. Like he was, you know, coming in between songs or whatever, and he's like, "Yeah, man, I got 5 kids, man." I was like, "Yeah, I got 5 kids too." He goes, "See?" He goes, I gotta go pay the bills, man.
Yeah.
And he goes back out, you know, and he's playing. And it's like, it's so true. Like, it's not romantic anymore when you got kids depending on you. Your kids don't give a damn about your romance. I was telling Dorian
they don't give a damn about your romance.
I was telling Dorian a couple weeks ago, like, your kids are not gonna give a fuck about you and your whatever. If the lights aren't on and you can't feed them and it's cold in the winter and they're outside, they don't give a damn about your excuses, fam. Like, you can have... You know, it's not romantic anymore.
No.
But when it's just you and your girl, and you're broke as hell, it's. I
can see how that would be fun.
It's it's one of those things you can only enjoy it when you look back at it. You don't really enjoy it in the middle of it because you're like, you know, when are we gonna get ahead and bills and all this.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. Huh.
Now you're telling me you're not nostalgic. Then give me another word.
So you're
for
right.
it.
He is on the phone with her. Yeah.
You were so good with words and at keeping things vague. Let's just go beyond that.
That's him. He's very good at words and also very good at keeping things vague.
That's not true. Like there's nothing about our relationship that I keep vague. See, that's what I resent. Like,
yes, no, that's completely true.
I'm very, very explicit about our relationship. There are things that I have to keep vague and I cannot talk about.
Yeah.
But you know. But as far as our relationship goes, I think I'm pretty open with you.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are with that.
Mm-hmm. Tell the truth. If you're offering me diamonds and rust, I've already paid.
Wait. I thought that part was sad.
I need some of that vagueness now.
Yeah. Because it's all coming back too clearly.
Yeah, we're watching a show about these kids and they're starting to come of age and the girls are getting involved and heartbreak and stuff. That's I'll tell you what, like the more and more, you know, I think about the kids and I look at them and see their aging and stuff, I'm like, man, I really don't want my kids to go through that.
I know.
Especially Dorian.
That's exactly who I had in my head.
You know,
I was looking at that picture in my mind that he took. He's such a handsome boy and he's sensitive.
But he's a very, very soft, sensitive guy. And he's a you know. But it's it's all part of it.
He's 13. He's bigger than me, but he still hold my hand.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, he's telling me about his conversation with my brother, you know.
Yeah, he's telling me too, yeah.
He's getting into acting and stuff. So he held my hand when we had the conversation. And his hand was like bigger than mine. He's such a God. So, you know, he's come on, touch me. So, you know, yeah, as a parent, you know, you see these things coming around the corner and, you know, you're just going to be there for them and, you know. So anyway, this is a very, very good song. And, you know.
You know what? I think the most dad-daughter moment that I had with my dad was when I was crying because I had broken up with my boyfriend because I could see we weren't going in the same direction. And so I broke up with him, but I was so brokenhearted. I was crying so hard. And like, I still to this moment remember what my father's eyes looked like. Mm-hmm. And I knew that he was really sad that I was sad. That and when I had the miscarriage, he was sad about that too. Both of them. But
yeah.
My father wasn't one to like pull you in and hug you all the time. But it wasn't that he wouldn't hug you. Like I usually would go in and hug him, but going in to hug someone and being hugged by someone are two different things. But in that instance, he hugged me when I was crying about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I think it's tough to see that. Whew, I'm not looking forward to it.
No.
And the thing is, when you have a bunch of kids, it can happen at the same time.
I know. The more and more I look at them, the more I'm like, I just want to absorb all the pain.
I know.
You know, but you can't, you know.
I know. And I think about, too, like, you know, when we were in youth group, there was, like, this one kid that was like, oh, man, he just was not... He was the most unpopular person there, and he was full of acne, and he didn't shower regularly, and his teeth were gross. Like, he didn't even, like, try in a lot of areas. But I think that sometimes teenagers don't really realize how all those things are important. And, like, he was basically the laughingstock. Nobody took him seriously, and everybody was kind of like, you know, when you kind of like, people will make fun of somebody like at an angle, and the person doesn't even realize they're being made fun of, or if they do, they don't comment on it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like one of those, and like, I was thinking, like, because, well, I was thinking about the, somebody had insulted Zoe, that's one of our daughters, and one of her younger brother, like, punched the kid for insulting her like that. And like, I was thinking, if somebody had punched him, I wouldn't like that. You know what I mean? And so like, when I think about that kid from my youth group, and I think, if that was my son that was, you know, not very popular and being made fun of, and you know, that would like be really, really sad. And like, I remember one time, I'm just gonna say this because this is one sad thing that I did that I'm not sure, I think I told you about. It was camp. And it was like it was a girls' camp. Basically, it was like Christian, what's that called? Girl Scouts, basically. So we were like on this trip in the woods, and we were being taught
it was the Girl Scouts, but they had to have a ghettoized Christian version of it, because you couldn't just send your kids to... Go ahead.
Actually, it wasn't as bad as like what you're doing. I actually liked the program because I learned a lot about missionaries, and I learned a lot about Teen Challenge, which was which is a program for helping like runaways and drug addicts and stuff like that, like to be able to get help. So I actually liked that, and we had to read through the whole Bible, and we had to memorize the books of the Bible, and all of those things I found to be valuable in my life. But anyway, so we went on this thing, and we were at the camp, and everybody was playing like tricks on each other. Like one girl, there was, I don't know why, but the whole place was like mobbed with frogs. It looked like when Moses came and like covered the place with frogs with Pharaoh. But anyway, like these frogs are squashed all over the place, like on the roads. It was disgusting. I've never seen so many frogs in my life. Well, one girl was really, really freaked out by the frogs, and she was also very, very prissy. And so we took some of the frogs and put them in her sleeping bag and underneath her pillow, the squashed frogs. She flipped out. It was hilarious. Anyway, so we were all kind of doing these pranks on each other. Well, that kid was there because his mother was running the program. He was a teenager. Yeah. So it was kind of like, he was kind of like made fun of, but at the same time, he was the only guy at an entirely girls' event, and we were all teenagers. So he was kind of like in a privileged position. Well, we all got this brilliant idea that we were going to take shaving cream, shampoo, anything. We were going to chase him down. We were all going to tackle him, and we were going to squirt all this stuff all over him. And like, we did. All us girls chased him down, knocked him over. He was laughing really hard because I'm sure at the same time it was probably fun to have, I mean, like a mob of girls chasing you and then spraying. He was laughing really hard. But I remember looking at him with the shaving cream all over him and all this stuff, and he was laughing, and I felt really, really bad because I thought I wasn't doing it to... We were all doing it because he was like that person, you know what I mean? Like, it was kind of like making fun of him at the same time that we were doing it, you know what I mean? It wasn't like, hey, I don't know, like there was just some angle to it that just made me feel really sad. And I remember saying to myself, I'm never going to do something like this again. I mean, he liked it. He wasn't offended by it at all. Matter of fact, he was bragging about it to the other people, but still, like in your heart, you just are kind of, you know. But I think if that happened to my...
You have a very sensitive spirit. I don't think that would bug any of the boys.
No.
I don't think any teenage boy. Oh, that was that time all those girls jumped on me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, he was laughing and stuff, but I just didn't really like it. But if somebody did that to one of our kids, whew, man, that would just kill me. Oh.
It wouldn't kill me.
If they were making fun of them and then behind the scene and then chasing them down.
Well, yeah, I mean, we
didn't hate the guy. You know, he just...
Yeah.
But he would say things sometimes that you were like, why would you... I mean, he was very greasy, and then we were all out eating pizza, and the pizzas were like really greasy, and people were kind of taking their napkin on it to soak up the. And he was like, "This pizza has more grease than my face." We were like,
What do you give the song?
10. I really like this one.
Yeah, definitely a 10 for sure. For sure. The diamonds in the diamonds and rust angle, I think, is brilliant. Such a brilliant line. And depressing as hell, but that's the way of a man with a maiden, right? I mean, it's a crazy thing. But anyway, much love to everybody. Shout out to Tasco.
Yes. Shout out to the big homie.
To the big homie. Tasco. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.
Here's another new song for you from Angel of Retribution. This is worth fighting for.